सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्. Even though mind is said to be of the nature of fickleness, but it is said here, manasa eva idam aptavyam. The mind alone is the means by which it can be obtained. And when is that? When the mind has been educated to see not the variety, na iha nana asti. Not here there is variety. As we saw in the previous session, yena rupam rasam gandham shabdhan sparshamscha maidunan etenaiva vijanadi kimatra parishishyate. Kimatra parishishyate. What else is there? Everything is known, yena, by which atmana eva sarvam jnatam. Janati sarvam. Rupam, drishyam, whatever is perceived. Rasam, gandham, shabdam, sarvanscha. All of them. It's whatever is heard, smelled, touched, seen. In whose presence alone this everything is known through the body, through the senses, and it is the mind which is processes that and understands it as an enjoyable, experienceable, pleasurable thing, or decides not to do that. Here, manashabdena buddhi api jnatavyam. Understand here, when it is said mind, it is an informed, educated mind. So it should be understood as buddhi. Buddhya eva idam aptavyam neha nanasti kinchana. Mrutyosa mrutyam gachanti ya iha nana iva pashyati. Such a person who does not see the oneness but only sees the variety, due to the variety being pleasurable, he seeks to enjoy that, and therefore mrityoho samrutyam gacchati. From death to death is the nature of anyone who sees the plurality. So now it is necessary for the Upanishad also to recognize not only the Uttamadhikaris, people who have the very well fine-tuned intellect, but also to keep in mind people who may not have that sharpness of the mind or intellect. As we saw before, Uttishtada jagrada prapyavaran nibodada kshurasya dhara nishida duratyaya durgam padastak kavyavanti. It is like a sharp edge of a razor. The intellect has to be so sharp, alert, and must be able to capture the understanding with precision. But such a mind is very rare, therefore upasana. Unavoidable is to bring the understanding into a seen, perceivable thing, even as Om, as a Shabda we saw before, is also used as a alambanam. Etad alambanam shreshtam, etad alambanam param. So here also an alambana, a support, is given in the next two verses. Angushtamatra purusho madhya atmani tishtati ईशानो भूतभव्यस्य न ततो विजुगुप्सते अंगुष्टमात्र पुरुषो Jyotirivā dhūmakah Īśāno bhūta bhavyasya sa evādyas sa ushvaha etat vaitat. Purushaha, Purishayanat Purushaha, that which is presiding or residing in our own body, to be meditated as Madhye Atmani Sharire. Atmani Sharire. In this body, Madhye. Purushaha Madhye Tishtati. Sri Ramana Maharshi was asked this question because he said, Hridaya Guhara Madhye Kevalam Brahma Matram Aham Idi Sakshat Atma Rupena Bhati. He said, this self is continuously throbbing, vibrating in our own heart as Aham Idi. None of us are unaware of that. All the time we are constantly realizing or knowing Aham. Is it not true? Anywhere you go, Aham, I am. Even a dog knows that. So, Billy is dog, right? They can keep the name Billy for a dog also, why not? Billy. Wow, that means Aham. Ahamasmi. No, but you cannot call a neighbor as a dog, that's different. One person, what happened, he was brought to the court. So, because he called his neighbor, Mr. Gupta, as a pig. So, that fellow put a defamation case on him. So, the judge said, how can you call? He said, I cannot call Mr. Gupta as pig. No way. Can I call a pig as Mr. Gupta? Yeah, you can. Then he turned to him, Mr. Gupta. That is allowed. It's crooked logic, So when you call a dog also, it says, wow, that means Aham Asmi. So this Aham, which is Hridaya Guhara Madhye Sarvada Tishtadi Aham Iham Iti, as I. So where is that heart? You mean to say that pumping, bug, that one, not what is it? Lub-dub. Is that the one? No, he said that which is there right in the middle. So middle means what? It is right at the center of your own being. If you exactly take the total height and total height of the person, right there. So is it a physical thing? No, it is a reference point. He said here, which means Madhye Atmani Tishtati. One meaning is physically Madhye, or it is the very center of thing. When we say he is the center of everything, meaning what? He is not sitting right in the center, but he in which everything is focused. Everything is focused on that. So here, Madhye Atmani Tishtati, and what is this size? Angushta Matraha. Angushta Parinamaha of the size. Matra is here size. Like a size of a thumb. Whoa, Brahman. Anoraniyan Mahato Mahiyan. This is the size. See, it is not like that. It is for us to, like Om. Is it the size of the Om? Which size? It is to be understood as a point of meditation. Angushta Matra. It is said that the lotus of the heart in which it is present. Akara ityartha. Matra means Angushta Akara. So that is why when anything you complete, what do you say? Brahman one. It is Brahma who actually won everything. Or when you do not know how to sign, what do you do? Brahman only chapo. So Brahman alone is this idea, identity of yours, right? This is unique. You don't put this as this. Angushta. So Angushta matra purushaha madhye atmani tishtati. And who is that? Ishanaha. Earlier we have seen verse number 5 also. Bhuta bhavyasya. Bhutasya cha bhavishyasya cha. Of the past, of the future, includes the Vartamana Kalahapi. Ishanaha means the one who is the provider of the karma phala. So for the sake of meditation, for the sake of one-pointed attention, this very self which is all-pervading Antaratman is given a particular form for us to understand as the very center of our own being. Having understood him to be Ishanaha, the one who is the giver of all the results, na tato vichukupsate. Vichukupsate we have seen before also, na jugupsa asti tasya. There is no jugupsa. Goptum na ichcha bhavati. Ichuhu bhavati. He doesn't desire to protect or save or hide. No, na bhayam kinchana asti. Etat vaitat. That alone is this. So, Angushtamatra Purushaha, and again, further description of this is what? Jyotireva Adhumakaha. It is written Jyoti or Jyoti. In the old book, it's called Jyoti, J-O-T-H-I. This is J-Y-O-T-I. I don't know how it is written. Huh? J-Y? Okay, the old edition is I have. Adhumakaha, no smoke. Light without smoke, meaning it is continuously self-brilliantly functioning without any aid of anything. Swayam Jyoti Swarupatvat. In fact, Bhagavad Gita also, in the 6th chapter, Krishna describes a mind of a yogi as a steady light. Yata deepo nivatastaha na ingade so upama smruta. Yogino yatachittasya yunjateo yogamatmanaha. Such a person who is meditating steadily is like that of a flickerless light. Because there is no vata, there is no air of disturbance. Here it is another way put is adhumakaha jyoti, smokeless fire. Meaning unendingly it is continuing with no disturbance there and no darkness around. It is not burning something. It is of the nature of brilliance. Ishano Bhuta Bhavisa, it is the same as the previous verse. Sa eva adya, that alone is today, adya, sa eva u shvaha, u indeed, shvaha tomorrow also. Meaning, that which is there today is the one which will be tomorrow, meaning sanatanaha ityartaha, etat vaitat. That alone is this alone is that which you asked, O Nachiketa. Now, further, now coming verses are all about beautiful similes to bring our mind to contemplation. These are all contemplative verses. Yatodakam durge vrishtam parvadeshu vidavati evam dharman pratak pashyan tanevanu vidavati. Yata, just as udakam, water, durge means vivikta deshe, in a remote place, in a very remote areas, vrishtam, siktam, when the water is, let us say by the rain, is coming down on a place which is inaccessible. What happens is vidhavati, it just falls and goes here and there. It just spreads. So the mind, when it is not focused on something, it continuously becomes distracted. Just like the water put in an inaccessible place, after that while it is coming down, it gets exhausted and gets completely dried up. Evam dharman pritak pashyan. When a person atmanam, dharman here means atmanam, differently when one he perceives, not focusing upon it as oneself, what happens? Pritak pashyan taneva anudhavati vinashyati ityartha. He runs behind that only. He is not thereafter capable of focusing on the reality as one's own self. The mind does not have the ekagrada chintanam, which is known as vyavasayatmika buddhihi. Cultivated mind is not there. In Gita also it says, vyavasayatmika buddhihi ekeha kurunandana bahushakahi anantascha buddhihi avyavasayanam. An uncultivated mind spreads into multi branches, whereas a cultivated mind is pretty much focused. So, he thereafter, the pritak pashyan, when he sees everything as, this will be taken up a little later. What do you mean by pritak bhava? Seeing different things, meaning seeing everything differently. Sense organs giving different, having different attributes and different kind of distractions. But on the other hand, taking the same example, yatodagam shuddhe shuddham asiktam tagradeva asiktam tadrigeva bhavati evam munir vijanatah atma bhavati gautama. Yata, just as udagam, water, shuddhe shuddham tadrigeva bhavati. Shuddhe shuddham asiktam. In a pure water, when you add the pure water, you cannot distinguish anymore. Shuddhe abdhe, shuddham abdam, udagam asiktam. When you sprinkle or pour in, singe is to sprinkle or little droplets when you pour. So when the pure water merges with pure water, you cannot distinguish. It becomes that tadrigeva, tat samaeva. In the same way, evam munehe vijanatah munehe atma, of the person who is contemplative and knowing that self vividly, becomes that atma bhavati gautama. He doesn't see anymore himself as pritak, different. So therefore, just like the water that is poured in an inaccessible place where it just does not ever reaches the ocean, will get exhausted there itself, so is the mind of a person who sees the world and gets caught. Whereas an individual who is able to recognize that the worldly perception is also due to the presence of that consciousness, even while perceiving, he knows it is the seer and the seen are both equally blessed by the same consciousness only. As we saw yesterday, in all the 7 vibhaktis. In all the 7 vibhaktis, it is the Paramatma only is acting in all different levels. As the world of 8 different things, as well as the seer. Therefore, a person who is able to bring the pure consciousness into understanding that the entire world that he perceives is also the expression of the same, shuddhe shuddham asiktam tadrigeva bhavati. He becomes one with that. Ekatvam pashyati ityartha. So, evam munir vijanatah. Evam munehe vijanatah. Evam munehe atma bhavati Gautama. Vijanatah atma bhavati. In the same way, a man of realization comes to have the Advaita experience. This is the end of the Dvitiya Adhyaye Chaturthi Valli. Now, in this Panchami Valli, next section we will see more verses for contemplation. Now, here onwards, the teaching is slowly getting into Mananam. Slowly, the mind of the student has been tuned to start thinking deeply. Now, we will see here. Puramekadashadvaram ajasya अनुष्टाय न शोचति विमुक्तश्च विमुच्यते एतद्वैतत्. This body is 11 gated, not 9 anymore, 11. From 9 we move to 11 now. So, what are the 11? Puram ekadasha dwaram. 11, ekadasha. What are the 11 gates? So, when you are fasting for Ekadashi, all the 11 should be closed. Then only the Ekadashi. So, 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostrils, 1 mouth. कितना हो गया अभी? 7. Good. You are keeping track. Navel. कितना हो गया? 8. Anus. 9. Reproductive organ. 10. Here it is said to be one more, which is said to be the aperture through which a Jivan Mukta will leave the body. Apparently. He will not leave the body, but it is said to be. Brahmarandra, it's called. Andra means a whole. Brahmarandram. So that together it's 11. We are in a 11 gated community here. Gated community. Puram ekadasha dwaram ajasya. Of this unborn, avakra chetasaha. Avakra, uncrooked. Vakram means crooked. Vakratunda mahakaya. Like this. No. Avakra, meaning uncrooked, straight. Nitya shuddha swarupatva, swachha swarupatvacha. Because of the nature of purity. Of that consciousness which is unconditioned. Avakra chetasaha means unconditioned consciousness. Anushtaya, abiding in that, na shochati. Only in that abidance of that self, unconditioned consciousness in oneself, residing in this very body. Sharirastopi kaunteya, even Gita says, na karoti na lipyate. So you don't need to look for it somewhere else. Upanishad again and says, here, in this very physical body of yours, 11-gated body, there itself is present. Anushtaya, anustaya, having abided in that. Anu, when it is used, acharya upadesha anantaram, after having listened to carefully the scriptures revealed by the teacher. Na shochati, na shokam gacchati, and vimuktascha vimuktaye. Karma bandhanat, vasana bandhanat vimuktaha tu na punarjanma saha vidyate. So, the freed one hereafter becomes freed forever. Meaning, here itself, while living the body, he is no more a sufferer of karmas. In the Vedanta, we see that 3 karmas are there for one to experience. One is called the prarabdha. Prarabdha is prakarshena arabdhatvat, which is already started. Our body is a product of that. then whatever one has done in many lives, it is there. That is called sanchita. What yet to be experienced by me because of my actions of now, this birth, is called agami. A Mahatma, one who has realized the higher self, is freed from both sanchita and agami because he has left his ego. His vasanas are completely purified or destroyed. Therefore, the ego, the identifying individuality, no more is carrying on the impressions of the past, nor he would be given any more result of the actions performed in this life after the realization. No, but the effect of the past will be there, for which he has born, that he, even though from the other standpoint he will be suffering, but in his standpoint, because of his anushtana, because of his abidance in the higher self, he will look like it as a drama that is going on. So Guruji used to say, inside Rama, outside drama. It's going on and let it go. Yadricha labha santushtaha dvandvatito vimatsaraha. As the world will bring in experiences, he will go through that without any complaint. So already he is free. He is no more he is a victim of what is happening to him at this point. Vimuktaha cha. When he leaves the physical body, there is no more rebirth, vimuchyate. Otherwise, you look at freed person become freed. What do you mean by that? That means freed from the karma bandhana, he is freed from punarjanma. That is what it means. Punarjanma sahana vidyate. Now comes the most beautiful verse of the entire Kathopanishad. Get ready for that. Because this, Guruji would say, this is the best poetry you can never have. Upanishad is not very poetical as such. It is just a straightforward, statement of the fact idea. But in this particular verse, the Yama or whoever be the Kataka Rishi just went to the height of poetry. Hamsas sujishat vasurantarikshasat Hota vedishat atidir duronasat nrishat varasat ridasat vyomasat abja gojarudaja adrijarutam brihat. क्या है? The poetic beauty of this verse, he is enjoying the beauty of Brahman within himself and everywhere. He has come out with such a wonderful, kind of imagination. Ridam means Satyam. Ridagam Satyam Param Brahma Purusham Krishna Pingalam Urdvaredam Virupaksham Vishwarupaya Vai Namo Namaha. कहाँ से? हाँ, ऋतकम सत्यम. Ridam is Satyam. Ritam Brihat. That Satyam which is of the nature of the highest presence. Brihat, Brihatvat, Brahma iti katyate. The absolute. And that very self is Hamsaha. Hamsaha here means, Ham, in Sanskrit, Han means to Gachati. Hamsaha Shuchishat. Hamsaha here means that which is of the purest nature is none other than Surya. The Surya is considered to be the most purified form of expression of Brahman externally, and he is constantly on the move, apparently, from our standpoint. He is on the move, ever. That's a symbol is given in the form of swasti, a constant movement. But if it is not taken in the right spirit. Shuchi means pure, Shuchi Shad. Shad means that which resides. Sad Sidati. Asanam, Asidati, Upasanam, Upasida, Sad Sidati. That which stays. So, Hamsaha gacchati sudishat adityavat charati. Vasuhu meaning Vayuhu. Antariksha sad antarikshe in the interspace. If Divi, the Swarga is considered as the higher, Bhuvi as considered as the earth, between this point is Antariksham. In that Antariksha, the very Brahman itself is in the form of Vayu. Surya api Brahma. This Krishna also says, I am the brightness in the sun. I am the Vayu. So here, Vasuhu Antariksha Sad. Sad means again staying in Antariksham. Hota. Hota, Hotru. Hotru here means one who is devourer of all that is offered to him in the Agni, Yajna, that is Agnihi. Hota, Agnihi, Vedishat. In the Vedi, in the Yajna. He is the one who is in the Vedi also means Prithivi. You see, fire in the, sun in the Prithivi stal is Agni. You cannot worship the sun as such, right, directly. He is invoked here in the Prithivi, earth, as the fire. So, he, the Brahman, as the Agni, Hota, Vedishat. Atithi, Somaha. Moon, one is Somaha moon or Somarasa. The outcome of any Vedic ritual is considered as the Soma. Where is it? Duronasat, Kumbhe. It is available in the Kalasha. So, there is in the Kalasha, he is in the form of a Soma. Nrishat, where does he stay? Nrupe, Nru means Nareshu. In the men, in the human, he is present. Varasat is also present in the Vara. Vara means here to be understood as Deveshu, in the deities, not only in the human beings, but also in the adorable deities, Deveshu also, Varasat. Rutasat, in the Yajna, in the performance of Yajna, he is present as Ritam as the ritual, he is there. Vyomasat, Vyoman means space, in the space. Abja, aquatic creatures which are born out of water. Abjayate idi abja. Goja means that which is born out of earth, paddy, etc. Gojaberi, what is that? You have that. Goji berry, that's Sanskrit word is Goja. Rutaja means Yajna Anga. Various other auxiliary things that are made in this during the or used in the Yajna, that is all the samagris, that is also him only. Adrija, water that is pouring out of the mountains. Adri means mountain. Sheshadri, Venkatadri. Adri, when you say, it is the mountain or hill, Adrija, that is water. The poet goes on to that. So, he sees the whole thing, the sun, the moon, the wind, the fire, the human, devatas, all of them are none other than Ritakam Prihat, that supreme presence only. In that feeling of total elation, he looks at the entire creation as a constant, vibrant presence of the consciousness which he himself. And within oneself, it is the Lord, the presence is the one which is making even the breathing going up and down. Earlier verse he said in the verse number 1, he says it is there in the person, in the body as we saw, Puramekadashadvaram. He is present in the body. Not only the body, he doesn't have only the body as its presence, the entire world as its presence. And within ourselves, every breath that you take, he is only doing it. Urdhvam pranam unnayati apanam pratyagasyati madhye vamanamasinam Vishve Deva Upasate. Prana, very word means prakarshena anayati iti pranaha. Anayati means nayati means leading. Ni nayati. Anayati bringing in. So when you take the breath, it is called prana. Prana. In Malayalam, ana means elephant. It takes people. So anai. Malayalam is Tamil means anai. Yanai. Yeah, that goes. So ana means prana. This prana that is brought in divides into 5 parts, as you know, prana, apana, vyana, udana, samana. When the air that is taken in, it goes down, it becomes apana. When it goes up, it becomes udana. When it spreads, it's called vyana. When it is used for digestion, it's called samana. Prana, apana, vyana, udana, samana. So therefore, here, what is that usually that we experience? Air going up, going down, going up, going down. That is urdhvam pranam unnayati, utnayati. It is because of the presence of consciousness alone, prana goes up, apanam prati agasyati. Prati, on the opposite direction. Prati, pratyak, in other words. Pratyak, the other way around, asyati, pushes it. As to throw and push. So, pratyak asyati. It is pushing it down. So, air that is growing up, going down. Bhagavan, that the Lord is present there. When you breathe in, Narayan. breathe out, Narayan. Urdhvam pranam unnayati, apano pratyagasyati, apanam pratyagasyati. But while he is doing, where is he? Madhye vamanamasinam. Madhye, sharira madhye, here to be understood as buddhau hridaye madhye asinam. Vamanam. Vamanam here means varaniyam, pujaniyam, upasaniyam, stutyah, most worshipful, asinam, present there. Whom Vishve Devaha Upasate. Vishve Devaha means here Indriyani. All the sense organs are doing their activities because of his presence. Without the prana, none of the sense organs will be able to function. Therefore, all various sense organs here, Devaha, all of them are indeed worshipfully, adoringly working for him who is present in the body. If the body is considered as like a king, is a puri, all the people are working for whom? Working for the presiding deity there. In the same way, madhye vamanam asinam vishve devaha upasate. Therefore, here, one may probably have this question, especially those who are scientific thinkers would say, it is, when the body is said to be dead, it is when the prana is not there anymore. When the prana and the activities are not there, then only we said to have body is dead. But who is this another one which you are talking about as Atman? Is it Atman decides the death of the body when he leaves, or when the prana leaves, that becomes the death of the body? These people who have that artificial, what is that called? Respiration. They may have this question, should we or not? Should we or not? Because artificially when a person is breathing, is he really alive or not? Or only the body is alive? Because the moment you take, gone. So actually the one which is there as pure consciousness is present, and therefore air is moving up and down, or because of prana he is present. What is it? Here is the answer. Asya visram samanasya sharirastasya dehinah dehat vimuchyamanasya Kimatra parishishyate etat vaitat. The doctors should remember this verse. If somebody asks, Asya visram samanasya sharirastasya dehinah. Asya dehinah, of this one embodied, sharirastasya dehinah. Dehin means one who is now presiding the body. Dehin. Dehinah sharirastasya, sharire tishtasya, one who is staying in this physical body, visramsramanasya, when he is separated. Visramsanam is to separate it from the body. Dehat vimuchyamanasya, when he becomes departed from the body, kimatra parishishyate, what will remain? Prana also will go away. When he decides to withdraw, prana cannot remain. In a natural death condition, it is not prana stops and therefore the person is dead. The soul decides to leave and then prana stops there. Once the soul decides to leave, you cannot keep the prana pumping and making it look like he is alive. It is not possible. So, in other words, when he has departed the body after prarabdha is over, no prana, nothing can make the body still active there. So, which is to say, it is not because of prana he is present, because of his presence, prana is going on. So, we might have seen these miracles in many places. Some big building collapsed and everything, and then 15 days nobody is able to go anywhere there. And finally, one person is under there, still breathing and there. Why? Uska prarabdha nahi hua. It's still there. Even though he can't breathe, but he's still there. Why? His consciousness is still holding him there. So, because of the presence of whom even the prana is, see, as very in our daily example also, as yesterday also I said, who is making you breathe during sleep? Are you? Then you are not sleeping. I am breathing, 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 breathing. You are not doing it. It's going on. Because of whose presence, dehat vimuchyamanasya, when that one has moved away from the body, kimatra parishishyati, what will remain here? Only carcass. Only the Panchabhutas will remain. Etat vaitat. That is what it is. You have asked this. Hey Nachiketa. Continuing on the same trend, it is prana apana, it's not maintaining the body. Prana apana is the power which he expresses to make this sure the body is sustained. But in his absence, no prana, no apana can work. And therefore, don't let us not misconstrue because of prana, breathing and inhaling, inhale, exhale. So, one person said, no, I don't say these things, inhale, because I don't believe in hell. Inhale, exhale. One girl came home and said, Mommy, I have a boyfriend who is very good, but he doesn't believe in hell, heaven, etc. He is irreligious. He doesn't believe in hell and heaven. The mother said, don't worry, get married. We'll prove it to him. Na pranena na panena martyo jivati kaschana itarena tu jivanti yasminneta upashritau. Martyah, manusyah, narah, maranashilah. Kaschana, no one who is a mortal Jivati. No one as a mortal lives not because of prana. Na pranena, na apanena. Not by prana na apana. इसलिए वो जीवित नहीं रहता है. Because of the prana apana, it's not is alive. Itarena tu jivanti. Itarena. The other one being Atmana eva. Atmanah of the nature of the self, Sannidhau eva. In his presence alone, Itarena tu jivanti. Esmin, in whom etau ubau ashritau. These two are supported by that presence. These two are depending upon that consciousness. Now, if you go out and see a plant, does it breathe or not? Real plant, not this plastic one. So, when you say a tree is present or tree is alive or a small plant is alive, you don't see it. We do see, when a person is lying down and sleeping, not sleeping, you can see the stomach zzz, zzz. You can see how the prana apana takes place there. Like a mountain coming up and then a mountain going up. Or if you see the plant, you don't see it. You don't see it is even breathing, but it is. It is doing it. It is also alive. There is Paramatma there also, but you cannot discover that. So even in one's own being, the prana apana is not that sustains the body. Both of them are depending upon that presence. Yasmin atmani etau prana apano upashritau. They are depending on him. So breathing, Swamiji, now I have learned new things, how to do this contemplation of Brahman. How? Meditation ho gaya. Only do the breathing. That probably will quieten the mind, but that is not about Brahman. Only Brahman. Bhakti nahi hai. Studying is the last thing they can do. Everything else they can. Upside down you stand up. My Brahman. Nothing to do with Brahman. And each other physically you do all those things, all magic or this tamasha, it is not going to make you realize the truth. And therefore he says, Hantate itam pravakshyami guhyam brahma sanatanam yata cha maranam prapya Atma bhavati Gautama. Hanta. Oh, well. Okay, Nachiketa. Te, to you. Idam, this. Pravakshyami, I shall speak to you. What? About what? Guhyam Brahma Sanatanam. This is the most secret presence of this eternal self. Sanatanam Brahma Guhyam Idam Te Pravakshyami. And knowing which, yata maranam prapya, even as the physical body is going to death, atma bhavati Gautama, a person becomes a Brahman itself. Know that. Don't do anything else unnecessarily. So only by properly listening from a teacher who is well versed, not only just a person of meditation, Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam. Kathopanishad will talk about that. Shrotriyam, one who knows how to reveal this knowledge. And Brahmanishtam, one who is abiding in that. That is what it is also. Prapya varan nibodhata. Go and learn from a learned person. So, idam pravakshyami guhyam brahma sanatanam. Maranam prapya api, even though physical body is going towards the death, individual jnatva muchyati, ajnanat pramuchyate, one becomes free from Ajnana, the ignorance which is holding you back here. As we have been seeing, jnanena tu atad ajnanam yesham nashidam atmanah. Only that knowledge can destroy the ignorance caused by forgetfulness. It is not another thing that you come to know like any other external like knowledge like law or medicine, this and that, but this is about oneself. That is the greatest tragedy if you don't know. So if you don't know, what happens? Swamiji, I think in this birth, I don't think it's possible. Bahut busy hai main. And I think next birth only. This is too much. First of all, I don't know Sanskrit. Good excuse, Sanskrit mein mani. Time ही नहीं है स्वामी जी, समय नहीं मिलता है. See, no, everybody has got only 24 hours, no extra time. What you should not do, you find out, and you will find a lot of time. We are busy with unnecessary preoccupations. No, वो भी देखना है, सास भी एक दिन बहुत ही, वो सब देखना है मुझे. सीरियल देखना है मुझे. सीरियल खाओ, सीरियल देखो, नेवर सीरियल. So what happens if I don't know? Yoni manye prapatyante sharirattvaya dehinah sthanu manyenu samyanti yata karma yata shrutam. Anye means ajnaninah, those people who do not know this knowledge. Yonim, dehinah, this individual person, sharirattvaya, for the sake of getting another body, yonim prapatyante, they obtain another womb, another birth, another person, another living continuously. So people who have the opportunity to learn and understand also, when they don't do it, then obviously where do they go? See, yes, Gurudev would say, if after the class, where do you go? Where your desires are residing. It may be for dinner you go, or meet a friend you go, or go home. Where you go is decided by what? What your vasanas are about. So when you came from office today and you got ready and you came here because you were wanting to know, has samskara has led you here. At that time your friend called, Friday new Hindi movie has come in that Westwood. What is it? Westwood? What? West Park. Park, is it? I don't know. I don't go there. But I have a Upanishad thing. I said, Kal jao na. Saturday anywhere you going there. So now, see, where do you go decided by what? As much as what you do next moment is decided by your impressions of that vasana. So also, from here, where do you go after the death? Anye yonim prapatyante. Because the desire is still there to enjoy things. That is better. Some people, sthanumanyenu anusamyanti. They become stavara, stone. Stavara means what? Sthanu. Sthanu means a thing that doesn't move. At least if I am going to become a human being or another living being, it's okay because I have choices. Like a tree, what choice you have? Whether sun or sunshine or rain or do you want to be like that? Think about it. Sthanumanya anusanyanti. And what decides this? Yata karma, yata shrutam. As your actions are, as your knowledge is. Shrutam means jnanam. What you heard and what you have done, that decides. Swamiji, Kathopanishad sunaya main. Don't worry, human being you will become. Kathopanishad sunaya, you will not become a tree. Don't worry. So, Yata karma yata shrutam. This is a very important statement. Yata jnanam yata kritam karma. If the rituals have been done with the purity of the mind, to gain the purity of the mind, then either you become another human with a purified mind, where you can easily acquire knowledge, or if you are highly purified, then Brahmaloka. And with the knowledge, if you have purified the mind, iha eva prapyate. Here itself you get it. So, yata karma yata shrutam anye yonim prapatyate. And your next birth is decided by, Gurudev used to say, you prepare the blueprint of your next life now. You are already creating it. And Bhagavan is only, in the 9th chapter we might have seen, last week we showed that, Bhagavan is only a contractor. He will exactly build as per the blueprint. You expect him not to build something, you will not build anything extra as per the blueprint given to him. Who is giving him the blueprint? We. Yata karma yata shrutam. So therefore, ya esha supteshu jagarti kamam kamam purusho nirmimanaha tadeva shukram tad brahma tadeva amrutamuchyate tasmin lokashrita sarve tadunatyedi kaschana etatvaitat. Bhagavan, the Lord, the Supreme Consciousness, Brahman, supteshu jagarti. While you are sleeping, he is awake. Oh, when I am awake, he is sleeping? No. Supteshu, among those who are sleeping, or supteshu indriyeshu, when the indriyani supteshu, mana supteshu, buddhi supteshu, when the buddhi is sleeping, our mind is sleeping, sense organs sleeping, body is sleeping, jagarti. He is always awake. He never sleeps. Oh my God, what is this? When does he take tired rest? So we think that we need rest because we are doing so much of work. He is ever alert, conscious, alert, present. What does he do? When you are sleeping, what does he do? He creates the world for you. See? Kamam purushaha nirmimana. Purushaha, Atma, whatever the field of desires that you need to experience, he is creating it according to your prarabdha. So, as we are sleeping, he is creating the field of our experiences. Because unless we understand that I don't need it anymore by knowledge, that doesn't end. We never end our pursuits, not because the world has denied them to us, because we decided to grow out of it. Is it not true? The world is the same. Whether you want to pursue or not, was decided not by the world, not by the arrangement of objects. So the Lord within you and within each one of us, creating the field for each one of us to experience and by knowledge come out of it. That alone is Shukram, Shubhram, Shuddham, pure, Tad Brahma. That is the Supreme Brahman. Tad eva Amrutam. That alone is immortal. Iti Uchyate. That it is spoken. That very consciousness present in you, ever awake while you are asleep, is the one which is creating the field of experiences for you to engage and become mature to come out of it. It gives the total choice to you. Tadeva Shukram Tad Brahma Tadeva Amrutamuchyate. Tasmin Atmani Lokaha Shritaha. Nati is not creating your neighborhood or Lokaha, the whole creation of all the cosmos are depending on him. Tasmin lokaha shritaha sarve lokaha. And no one can cross that limit. Na adhyedi kaschana. Nobody can cross that limit. Meaning, beyond that there is infinite presence. You cannot cross beyond that. Tadunatyedi kaschana etatvai tat. That alone is that which you have asked, Nachiketa. In other words, Bhagavan is so benevolent. He allows you to do anything you want to do. He never stops you. Upadrishta anumanta cha bharta bhokta maheshwaraha paramatmeti chapyuttaha dehe asmin purusha paraha. Dehe asmin paraha purushaha. What is he? Upadrishta, watching you closely, but never stops you. Upadrishta anumanta cha. Hanumantani. Anumanta, allowing you. Bharta, support. Bhokta, making you enjoy. Maheshwaraha, Paramatma, idicha api yuktaha, is known as Paramatma also. Where? Dehesmin, in your body. Purusha paraha. Residing in you, creating the world that you need to experience, you have to overcome that by that knowledge, and he is there to welcome. If you don't, world available for you. Creating as many cosmos as you want. So now, next few verses about, even though it is one, it appears to be diverse. This always is the case with the people. So if he is there in everyone's ekaha atma iti punah punaha vadati shruti. One alone is the self, but we, because of our varieties of perception, we say, your consciousness, I think, is different from that consciousness. See, even I learned that Upanishad, etc., I realize, aham Brahma, I am Brahman, I realize. I don't know about you, but I am Brahman. Brahman ek hi hai. Brahman onna navan Malayaliyana. This is this is a Malayali would say. एक ही ब्रह्म है, वो बहुविधा दृश्यन्ते. This seen as very many दृश्यते, sorry. बहुविधा दृश्यते. Ekam sat vipra bahuta vadanti. So here, one alone is appearing to be diverse. To explain that, Upanishad is bringing few examples here. Agniryate ko bhuvanam pravishto Rupam rupam pratirupo babuva Ekastada sarva bhutantaratma Rupam rupam pratirupo bahischa Vayuryateko bhuvanam pravishto Rupam rupam pratirupo babhuva Ekastada sarva bhutantaratma Rupam rupam pratirupo bahischa Suryo yata sarvalokasya chakshuhu Na lipyate chakshushair bahya doshaihi Ekastada sarva bhutantaratma Na lipyate loka dukkena bahyah. Similar ideas. Agnihi, Vayuhu, Suryaha. Ekaha Agnihi. Yata, just as one is the fire, Bhuvanam Pravishtaha, entering into the Bhuvanam, the earth. Bhutana, Bhuta, Bhuta means that. We are all Bhutas only. Bhavanti asmin Bhutani Lokaha. So, this world is nothing but the residing place for all the Bhutas. Therefore, it's called Bhuvana. Bhuvana. The abode for Bhu, those who are born, Bhuvana. So, Bhuvanam Pravishtaha Agni, the entering into the world, and it becomes itself or the trees. Rupam Rupam Pratirupo Bhavati. Babuva. It became every form. In every tree there is fire. The fire itself has taken the physical form of a gross form as the trees. Ekaha, tata ekaha. Even though one, in the same way, Sarvabhuta Antaratma, the self of all, is one. Rupam Rupam Pratirupo. In every form it is his only. Outside also. Bahishcha. Outside, inside. Outside means whenever you say outside me, that is also Brahman only. Inside me, that is also same. Antar Bahishcha, that's Sarvam. Vyapya Narayanasthara. So, just like the fire which is there in every tree is none other than one fire only. This wood fire is different from that wood fire. It's not like that. Fire is the same. So, when you take one spark of fire and light it up, immediately what burns is not that matchstick fire, the fire that is there in the wood. Is it not? Then you bring another wood, immediately that catches. Where? That fire in that four became one. So, when you bring all the woods together, fire is one. In the same way, yata ekaha agnihi, just like one fire alone appearing to be diverse, it is same, the one self alone appearing to be diverse here. Similarly, yata ekaha vayuhu, air is one, bhuvanam pravishtaha, entering, rupam rupam, in every breath of every one of us, it is the same vayu. Pratirupo babova, it has become taken to many forms. Ekaha tata sarvabhutantaratma. One is the inner self, rupam rupam pratirupo bahischa, in all the forms and outside also. Now, these two examples are understandable because both Agni and Vayuhu we can understand. Now, he says Surya. Surya is yata Suryaha sarvalokasya chakshu. It is the eye of the entire world. In other words, without whose presence you can't see anything. In fact, it is the sunlight that is making the eyes possible to see. These eyes are possible to see anything because of the light that is coming from there, because of the sunlight, all right. But when the sunlight falls on a Mutra Purisha, Shankaracharya writes, in the most dirty, like urine and then ficus, that is also illuminated by the same sunlight or not. And you are also seeing. By seeing that dirty, anything, or the sunlight putting the dirt, illuminating that, does it become dirty? Or do your eyes become dirty? Yes or no? I saw a ficus, therefore my eyes became, I don't know, I have to clean that, no, because I saw something very dirty. No. Ekaha tada sarvabhut. So, na lipyate. It is untainted. Bahya doshaihi chakshusaihi. Bahya doshaihi, the defective, impure things outside, or what is perceived by the eyes also. Tata, in the same way, ekaha sarvabhuta antaratma. That very self which is in, even if the individual is an impure, sinful person, unaffected is the self within. That's why Mahatmas, when they look at even the most heinous person, abhiched suduracharaha, a person even be a person of suduracharaha, sushtudurachara, meaning he is the most impure person of impure content. Even if that person if he decided to change, sadhureva samantavya. In the case of that Ratnakar also, Naradji could say that, hey, you might have done all sins, whatever you have done in this life, doesn't matter, change. Moment you decide to change, Bhagavan will come and show the darshan to you. Have you ready to change that? That is the question. Don't justify. So, ekaha tada sarvabhutantaratma na lipyate. Never gets tainted, affected, becomes impure, loka dukkhena, by any kind of sorrows that are suffered by the individual jiva due to his identification with the body and other things, bahya, because it is outside that. It is unaffected because it is uninvolved. It is only like a light showing everything that is there outside. Eko vashi sarva bhutantaratma ekam rupam bahutayak karoti tamatmastam yenu pashyanti dhiraha tesham sukham shashvatam netaresham. Sarvabhuta antaratma, the inner self of all, sarvabhuteshu vashi, eko vashi. Vashi means he who is ever under his, and keeping everything under its control. Yasya sarvam vasha is called vashi. Vashin Shabda, Vashin, one who has total control, become Vashi. Eko Vashi Sarva Bhutantaratma. Ekam Rupam, though even he has only one nature, Bahudaya Karoti. Yaha Bahuda Karoti. One who makes it appear as diverse Nama Rupa Jagat, the world of name and form. Tam atmastam yaha ye, those, sorry, here plural, ye, those people, tam atmastam, him, the Brahman, as atmani sthitam, staying in oneself, anupashyanti dhiraha, te dhiraha, those people of great knowledge, they come to realize as the one which is, even though appearing as many, many names and forms, one's own self, tesham sukham shashvatam. Their joy is eternal, na itaresham, not anybody else's. Meaning, once we stop seeing the difference, there is no more anger, no more lust, no more greed, no more any of those negativities. And when these negativities are there, not there, where will your mind be? Just like in the deep sleep state where I do not see any world of differences, and therefore, what is my experience at that time when everything is dissolved? Whom do I fight with? Koi nahi hai. I want to fight, but what to do? Nobody else is there. When everything is dissolved in that homogeneous oneness, where is a question of thereafter sorrow? Therefore, his joy cannot be imitated by anybody else. Na itaresham shashvatam sukham. That joy that he experiences, no one can understand or realize. And that is the reason why all our Swamis are given the last name Anand. Anand ho jao bhai. Ishwar mein Anand ho jao. Abhi nahi to theek hai, abhi ho jao. Later on you become that. Remember yourself. Our name should remember what I should become, right? But the names nowadays they keep, Are Baba, you don't even know what is Bukha, Lukha, Mukha, Sukha. What is that name? What is your name? Mukha. Murkha. It is easy, but better it will become. Just because two letters together, it cannot become a name. Name should be something to do with the character. रावण रख दो ना बस ठीक है. Ravayati iti Ravanaha. You know that? Rava means to shout. Aravam, Ganta Ravam. Making sound. Making sound means cry. One who makes you cry is called Ravana. So anybody who is around you who make you cry, Ravan hai wo. This one which is present in all is Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam Eko Bahunam Yo Vidadadi Kaman Tamatmastam Yenu Pashyanti Dhiraha Tesham Shantihi Shashvati Netaresham Anityanam Nityah. Anityanam Vinashinam, that which is impermanent, Nityah. In that it is Nityah, the eternal. Achetananam Chetana. Sorry, Chetananam Chetana. Among the conscious one, he is the consciousness. Among the temporary things, he is the permanent. See, you take a tree or any object, how much ever you destroy it, finally it has to come to a particular point of existence. That will be discussed tomorrow. Existence cannot disappear. That very existence of even a matter is the nature of Sat Swarupa Atma. Chit Swarupa Atma abhi Atma, that alone. In all conscious living being, consciousness is that. Sat and Chit. Earlier he talked about Ananda. Once you remember that he, the pure existence and pure consciousness, Ekaha Bahunam, one among the all, Yaha, he who Kaman Vidadati, one who thus gives. See, even as we experience any object, there are only three possible experiences of Ananda. Vishayananda, Brahmananda, and another one is called Atma Ananda. So, when we say Vishayananda, Vishayeshu Ananda, Brahmanaha Anandaha Brahmalokeshu, Atmanaha Ananda, which is closest to you? Now tell me. Vishayananda you have to pursue. You have to go towards object. It may or may not give. Brahmalok, अभी क्या है? अभी ये लोग, I am not sure whether I will go there or not. But Atma Ananda, that is which is within my reach. He who gives all the Anandas, all the Kamas, fulfilling, Vidadadi Kaman, as per our maturity, so will be our idea of pleasure. But the one which is thus creating a field for me to enjoy and even able to enjoy also, Tam Atmastam, that is present in me, Ye, those, Anupashyanti, the same as previous verse, Dhiraha, men of thus knowledge, Tesham Shantihi, for them alone true peace, Shashvati Shantihi, eternal peace, Na Itaresham, not anybody else's. So that's why we say, rest in peace, R.I.P., RIP. Rest in peace. We all also rest in peace only. So we will see more of the verses tomorrow. Tomorrow we have 2 sessions, so we will complete. There is one beautiful verse that is coming up. Next section, 6th section, first verse is most beautiful. And it is about the upside down tree, Urdhva Moolamata Shakam. But Shankaracharya goes in such a poetic, exuberance there. I will talk about that tomorrow, just marketing the idea now to you. So, and also more verses for meditation tomorrow. Tomorrow night in the evening, morning, you all know that. You have to get up a little early. At 7 o'clock, 7 to 8 is a session, and then 7 to 8:15, we'll keep it that way. And then 8:15 to 8:45, you will have half an hour break. Vishayananda, you will do some. Then Upmananda or whatever. Then after that, 8:45 to 10. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukkhabhat Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.